morning all of you. Hello. In the previous video, we have studied about rate of reaction, factors affecting rate of reaction, and different ways of measuring the rate of reaction. We discussed how to write down and calculate average rate of reaction, instantaneous rate of reaction, what were the units of rate of reaction. Now today we will proceed with the next topic, law of mass action. And how does this law of mass action differs from rate law, right? Now consider a general reaction. Let's suppose the general reaction is AA plus BB gives CC plus DD. This is my general reaction, where these small letters A, B, C, D, they represent stoichiometric coefficients. You know the meaning of stoichiometric. Stoichion means to measure element and metry means to measure. That is the measurement of the elements or the substances involved in a chemical reaction. Capital A and capital B represents your reactants. Capital C and capital D, these are products. Now 11th standard we have already studied law of mass action. So according to law of mass action, what does law of mass action say? According to law of mass action, the rate of reaction is directly proportional to the concentration of the reactant. If there are more number of reactant involved in such a situation, the rate of reaction is directly proportional to the product of the concentration of reactants raised to their stoichiometric coefficient. So here we are having two reactants, reactant A and reactant B. So how we will write the expression for law of mass action? Rate of reaction is directly proportional to, how do we represent the change in concentration? Square bracket. Since we are having two reactants, so we are supposed to make two square brackets. Concentration of reactant A raised to its stoichiometric coefficient. What is the stoichiometric coefficient of A? A raised to A and B raised to power B. This is law of mass action. But when it was practically seen, practically or experimentally, it was observed that the rate of reaction does not depend upon stoichiometric coefficient A and B of the reactant. It depends upon something else. It was found that experimentally, it was found that rate of reaction, let's suppose, depends upon alpha concentration term of A and beta concentration term of B. So this was the experimental observation. So then according to rate law is what? Rate law is experimental result. How do we give the rate law? Rate of reaction is directly proportional to the product of concentration of reactant raised to the concentration term which was determined experimentally. That means A raised to alpha and B raised to beta. This is the rate law. This is also called as differential form of rate law. We are expressing in terms of concentration of reactant raised to the concentration terms alpha and beta, which is determined experimentally. Now if you remove this proportionality sign, we can write rate is equal to, now when I remove this proportionality sign, I write a constant K into A raised to alpha, B raised to beta. Now what does this K mean? K means this K is known as velocity constant, or we also call it as specific rate constant. We will be defining this afterwards. Now from the differential rate law, rate is equal to K into A raised to alpha, B raised to beta. The sum of these concentration terms alpha plus beta. Here we are having two reactants involved. That is why we are writing alpha plus beta. In case you are having four reactants involved, so you will be having alpha plus beta plus gamma plus omega and so on. It depends upon the number of reactants. Let me denote it by a letter N. Alpha plus beta is equal to N, which is nothing but it is called as order of reaction. Very important. So how do we define the order of reaction? Order of reaction is defined as the sum of concentration terms on which the rate of reaction depends, and very important, it is always determined experimentally. Now in chemistry, it is noticed that higher order reactions, they are practically impossible. They don't occur. What is the reason? Many times this has been asked. Why higher order reactions are practically impossible in chemistry? How do we explain this? So for explaining this, first of all, we have to go in detail of how the reaction takes place. Basically, the reactant gets converted into product by the collision between the reactant molecules. So basically, there are two factors which are taken into account. One is effective collision, and the second one is proper orientation. You have to keep in mind that suppose I am having reactant A and reactant B. This is the molecule of reactant A and this is the molecule of reactant B. When they will collide with each other, they will get converted into product C and product D. But before getting converted, how they should collide? All the molecules undergoing collision will not result in the formation of product, right? Only those molecules which collide in a proper manner, that is why we say effective collision, and in a proper orientation only gets converted into this product molecules. Higher order reactions are practically impossible. Now why? Why do we say that? When the concentration is more, there is overcrowding of molecules. And when there is overcrowding of molecules, in such a situation, what will happen? There will be less effective collision, and the collision will also not take place with proper orientation. That is why higher order reactions are practically impossible in chemistry, right? So we will stop our class here. Next video I will be uploading very soon. Just note down these assignment questions. After watching this video, you are supposed to solve these assignment questions. In your fair notebook. First assignment question. What is the difference between law of mass action and rate law. Next question. Define order of reaction. As I already explained you, order of reaction is nothing but it is the sum of concentration term alpha plus beta, which is N, which is order of reaction. One very important thing about this order of reaction is that it is always determined experimentally. The next thing, this can have a positive value, it can have a negative value, it can have value 0, or its value can be in fractions. So fractional value is also possible for order of reaction. So this is the most important hint about the order of reaction which you have to keep in mind. Next question. Why higher order reactions are practically impossible in chemistry? This is next question. Fourth question. Write differential form of rate law. Differential form of rate law. So these assignment questions you will be doing. See you soon in the next video.